Alex Ogden Bookbinder here. Happy to have you with us. I want to just take a few moments to talk about a couple of books. One that I have just finished working on, and literally in just a few minutes we'll take it to the post office to mail it to the client. And the other is a Bible that I'll be starting work on very soon. But the first book is this one, and it's a book called 29 Let's Go. And it's just a history of the Second World War and the 29th group. And this was a book that belongs to a family friend. Her husband was a member of the 29th and involved in the events that are talked about in this book, and it meant a lot to her to be able to have it worked on. And the problems with this book, the spine itself was completely torn apart and was covered in packing tape actually. And so we had to remove all that packing tape and properly color some book cloth to match the existing, which we did real good. And thank my friend Amanda Buck for her help and advice and how to go about doing that with some acrylic paints. It worked out real well. But I had to replace the cloth here on the spine, a complete new Reback. And then also along both foredges, about 3/4 of an inch in, we have new cloth that is the same colored as the other. And so the foredges and of course the two corners along with that have also been properly repaired. While we're still here on the outside, of course, we cleaned it, but also was unable to save the old spine because of the tape and the problems that it presented. But I was able to prepare a new label with the same navy blue background, and that turned out real well as too. But on the inside, we had challenges. The end papers were intact, but as you see, they are photographs. There's another photograph in the back of the book. Similarly, these are the hedgerows of Normandy. So obviously we wanted to save this. It was intact. It was not split at the joint. And so I was able to peel it up from the boards and do all my work and put it all back together without ever having to take this all the way off the board. But that turned out really well. I had to reinforce the stitching in it, the sewing, and with Amanda Buck's help was able to understand a little bit better about what I needed to do as far as a good quality hinge here, and so it lays open quite easily, quite well. And so this book, as I said, is ready to go, and we'll get this in the mail to them here later this afternoon. But the other book I wanted to talk briefly about is this Bible that I have just received, and it's a fairly new Bible actually, but it had a yap binding, a 3 inch or so lip of leather around the edges, and for one reason or another he didn't like it. I think he mentioned something about wanting to fit it into some sort of a Bible case, and so he went around and he trimmed that extra leather off. And but anyway, he's decided it's time to have it rebound, and so we're going to do that. We're going to take this Bible apart and put a new goatskin, black goatskin cover on it. But the unique thing about this job is with regards to the Old and New Testament. Here is where they divide, and the Old Testament ends very nicely on the left-hand side, and the New Testament begins on the right. And it's very close to the end of a signature. So our goal is to take the book apart, divide it at this point, and rebind then in black goatskin the Old Testament, and rebind as well as a separate volume the New Testament in matching leather. So he'll be ending up with a situation similar to what I did for myself. So that's our next project. It's in fairly new shape, hardly been used, little scuffs, but not much at all. But we'll be fixing that up in the coming weeks and months. Appreciate you dropping by. Hope you'll come back. If you should happen to have any suggestions for techniques or processes that you'd like to see illustrated by video, then just leave me a comment, leave me an email, and we'll see what we can do in that area. Hoping you're having a wonderful day. Thank you.